till a man from Colombia was diagnosed with tapeworm cancer. On the topic of contracting cancer from another living organism, something that blew my mind was learning that there is a contagious cancer in dogs that is comprised of a clump of cells from a thousands of years old canine individual, that somehow developed into its own self-replicating life form that has survived millennia by infecting other dogs. Can something like this be considered alive? And if so, since it is made of dog DNA, can it be considered its own species? Like millions of people worldwide, the patient had tapeworms. And it was the tapeworm that had cancer. Because the man was HIV positive, his immune system was weakened and the tapeworm's tumors were able to spread to their human host. Man, talk about breaking some bad news to someone! So you have cancer? Well, your tapeworm actually has cancer, but it gave it to you. Also, you're HIV positive. On the bright side, things probably can't get any worse. Lollipop! Because the man was HIV positive, his immune system was weakened and the tapeworm's tumors were able to spread to their human host. So that means our bodies are able to ingest tapeworm cancer, and fight it off under normal circumstances. How much tapeworm cancer have you already had in your body that you just didn't know about? There is a type of dog cancer that is basically a dog cell that re-evolved into a single-celled organism and is now transmitted between dogs. It is a sexually transmissible cancer. Canine transmissible venereal tumor. This is actually very interesting. Our resident was talking about this. The tumor cells were all actually from the worm. The docs identified the tumor and initially were just unable to typify the cancer because they had never seen these kind of cells before. Patient: doctor, I'm not feeling well. Doctor: we found the cause. You have a tapeworm. But the tapeworm is cancer. And you also have HIV. And now, the tapeworm gave you cancer as well. So that explains why you're not feeling well. How can a tapeworm's cancer spread to a person? Cancer is cells with messed up DNA. I assume that a tapeworm's cells are not recognized by a human body as its own cells, so it's not like the body would decide to provide nutrients to a tapeworm cell. I read an article recently about using HIV to teach T cells to fight cancer. That would have made a hell of a story. Man with HIV gets tapeworm. Tapeworm gives man cancer. Doctor gives tapeworm HIV to cure its cancer. Some forms of cancer are more common than others. Prostate, breast, lung and colon cancers are the most common, according to the Cancer Registry of Norway. Norway? That's completely random. I'm not from Norway. Watch the SciShow video on this guy. The dude had HIV and tapeworms. Then his tapeworms got cancer, and his weakened immune system couldn't stop the tapeworm's cancer from infecting him. Here's a published case report in name. This is absolutely bonkers. Can't believe I didn't hear about this before. In these parasite-infested countries, do they deworming medicine on a regular basis, or how do they go about it? From what I understand, it's hard to make a diagnosis. Today I learned that tapeworms can get cancer. Today I learned that you can catch cancer. Today I learned that cancer can spread from a parasite to a host. I have good news and bad news. Bad news first. You have HIV, tapeworms, and cancer. And the good news? We're naming it after you. So a few days ago, scientists find a new worm species possibly frozen in ice for 46,000 years. And now this? Coincidence? I think not. Who has ever heard of heart or spleen cancer? And what about the appendix? If you haven't heard of them, they must not be a thing. Damn, if only you went to the doctors earlier. Could have treated the HIV, tapeworm or tapeworm's cancer to prevent it from spreading. I can't imagine going to a doctor's appointment for cancer and being told the tapeworm infection I had was the cause of my cancer. If I get diagnosed with the tapeworms, just put me down on the spot without telling me, please. Doctor: well, your tests are back and I'm afraid I have bad news. Your tapeworm is cancer. Oh great, I'll add this to the list of illnesses I'm unnecessarily paranoid of. I'm curious how much harder that is to treat the normal non-parasite cancer. Good news, the tapeworm is dying. Bad news, so are you, incredibly quickly. Dumb question, but do 4 anti-helminth drugs work against tapeworm cancer? Tapeworm cancer? Geez, as if tapeworms weren't ghastly on their own. The closest thing to this I can think of from comic books is Venom, but the real cancer was the website this story was on all along. I just learned a new thing to wish on people I don't like. Man, this is nothing like Futurama led me to believe. I guess there are worse superhero origin stories.